This is Capital Views, and I'm Mike Bradner, and with me is Kathie Wasserman, who's the Executive Director of the Alaska Municipal League.
Yes.
And Kathie, you've been at this quite a while, and give us a profile of Alaska municipalities and what's different about our municipalities than elsewhere.
Well, AML represents all 165 municipalities, so we go from Anchorage with 300,000 people down to Bettles, with the city of Bettles with I think 9 or 10 people. The problems basically are the same. They revolve around safety, public health, public safety, maintenance, and keeping enough money without taxing your constituents out of town. But the ways to solve them have to be so different because of the different sizes of the communities, their location, the resources that they have, whether that be people, equipment, buildings, money. So every community almost has to have their issues addressed in a different way. And it is difficult to serve all the municipalities. We usually center on issues that affect all of them. We don't do capital projects like, community buildings or bridges or anything like that. We do the things that affect them all. And then we have to find a way to make it work for all of them and how it affects all of them.
Now, municipalities, they're really the level of government that affects people at their doorstep.
You bet.
Their homes. I mean, they deliver the direct services that citizens get. And if you didn't have some of those, you would get a reaction very quickly.
You bet. And that always comes to light with almost every big issue that comes to the state. For instance, a couple of years ago, it was the marijuana. And the state spent a lot of time talking about the different taxation that would be imposed on marijuana growers and buyers and sellers and so forth. Yet it's the municipalities that deal with any side of marijuana, whether that be the positive parts that bring people into your community and where are they going to go to partake of the marijuana if that's what they should choose to do, or the negative sides if it includes things like driving under the influence or whatever. So the opioid thing, same thing. Those happen at the community local level, and we're the ones that have to deal with it.
So in dealing with it, you have to have some way that you empower local communities or enrich them, or give them the resources to do it, not just pass penalties on offenses.
Right. Or if another issue comes in, for instance, the opioids, if the opioid issue comes to each municipality, a municipality can't just raise taxes on everybody else in order to solve this problem. And there has to be some help. So that's why we are constantly making sure that we talk with the legislature about keeping community revenue sharing going, which is basically a small cut of the resources that the state operates off of.
And part of the basis of that is whether, you would like it to be otherwise, the legislature really is the assembly of the unorganized borough. And they have that response. I think sometimes they don't see it that way, but
I agree. I think there's many new legislators that don't have a clue that they are the assembly of the unorganized borough. And there are a few older legislators that know that and have tried to, I know Senator Hoffman is very aware of that, especially coming from Bethel, which is in the unorganized borough. And I know in different bills, he always tries to make sure that the regulations or the bills that they pass cover the unorganized borough, because if it's not in a municipality, sometimes it gets left out.
And even some of our organized boroughs, they have sort of maybe a special niche of taxation,
yes.
Such as the Northwest Arctic Borough and its relationship with the Red Dog Mine. It's not the kind of tax base that is easily, adapted to new projects and so on. And so we're, what do we do? How do we build the awareness?
With the legislature?
Well, I think it has to go broader than that.
Well, it does. And I think just like most of us, we're most concerned about our own community. And our job as the Alaska Municipal League is really not to reach out to the public as much as we serve the municipality and the government. But we have to deal with the legislature because they're the ones who have the purse strings and make the bills. But I think, we always try to stress to our mayors and our councils and assemblies, you need to talk to your constituents and let them know how you operate and what your needs are.
They need more input to the legislature, more discussion.
Yes.
And and that doesn't always happen. I mean, at least that's more possible today with communications than it was,
right,
years ago.
Right. But there's still a bit of an anti-government feel, and local government sometimes just gets swept up in that. I understand. But I don't think as much as the higher government, as the state or the feds. But
but you have the huge committees like Anchorage, and then you go to communities that have barely, maybe they have some tax base, but not much.
Many of them have. Most of the second-class communities do not have a tax base.
Kathie, we're at the end of our time.
Okay.
Thank you for being with us. This
Thank
is
you.
Capital Views, and I'm Mike Bradner.